The wildest thing about these stories is just hearing them from dude. Women will tell you stories, and they're usually horror stories. Like, he did this thing, or he did that thing, or he pulled out a jackhammer and was trying to put it in my butt. Like, they'll tell you that kind of story. If they tell you a good story, it's very rare. I'm not sure if it's just rare that it happens. It probably is. But when you have to hear a story from a dude, it's just always too much. For one, me and my circle of people, we don't share these kind of stories unless something hilarious happens, or like it has to be something notable. If it was just a good time, if it was a great time, if it was the best time, I don't need to know all that. I don't need to know no details. Hey, I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. Only if something wild happens and it's something funny and worth talking about. However, when men do tell these stories, it's three things they about to over exaggerate: the time, the woman's enjoyment, and the whole ambiance. He about to say he was in there for 3 hours just making magic happen. He was in there for 8 minutes. Where his sense of time went, don't know. He is about to say that woman orgasmed 562 times. She faked one after about 5 minutes for him to get off of her. Like, it's always going too far. The people who tell these stories are usually trying to prove a point to somebody that it don't even make sense to prove a point to. I'm your homeboy, all right? You don't have to convince me that you know what to do in the bedroom. Me and you are never going to be there together. I don't need to know this information. I'm not sure what you're trying to prove. If I got an idea and I don't really like it, then the whole ambiance, like the scenery, the setup, the buildup. This reminds me of the one story. I did a video about this, but I could just tell a better version here of my cousin telling us back when I was like 11, 10 or 11. He was telling me and one of our other cousins who was about 9 or 10 about the time he had sex. And mind you, he was only like 12. He did it at school, during gym class, behind the mats. And he didn't have a condom, so he used a Snickers wrapper. You can get the video on my channel for the full story. I don't have time to run it back from the very beginning. It's just so much. It was like, bro, he was already known for making stuff up. But at that point, it's just like, yo, you're not even making stuff up in your favor. When's the last time you seen a Snickers bar? I'm just saying, it's not the candy bar I would use to describe my penis. Granted, it might be the best one to use. I just wouldn't do it because I'm a lie. Like, why are you not making yourself look better in the story? Like, yes, the top of a Snickers bar can look like a penis, but like, you seen a Snickers bar and then you seen the wrapper. The wrapper is the more important part because it has to fit in the wrapper. And then this girl who was 12, she might not have knew much, but I'm pretty sure she knew more than to let you put a Snickers wrap. Like, I don't know, man. Men are terrifying people to be around and exist with, and I'm one. But I don't, as much wild stuff as I be on, I be outdone by every other man every single time. Like, as soon as I think I can go here, they be like, no, I can go here. What's good? I ain't got it in me. I don't get it, bro. But then again, it was like, what are you trying to prove to us? You're older than us. We are not having sex at all, so you're not trying to outdo us for real. I didn't get it. I don't know. And then a lot of stuff when it comes to sex stories, like the funniest things you can hear from people are their first times. Not just the first time having sex, but the first time anything happens. The first time being choked. Wow. Because I was doing what she asked me to do, and then she started choking me. And I was like, wait a minute. This is all right. I'm very confused why this is enjoyable to me. So look, I got my ear licked one time, and it was like, why? How is this connected to my penis? Why is this an enjoyable thing? Sex is weird. The body is weird. People are weird. I don't know. But more importantly, the first time people have sex is like an interesting thing to think about and talk about. For me, what's interesting about the woman's side is what brought you to this conclusion that you were ready to do this and this is the person you picked. Because we are mentally trained as men to be fucking hound dogs and just try to stick your dick somewhere at some point. Women's side is more interesting. But I can say for me, I had a fear of sex in a way, because all I heard about was STDs and babies, and it's gonna ruin your life. And like, I watched porn and I've seen women and they were beautiful, but I'm like, I'm pretty sure this sex thing is not that big of a deal. Until I got to the point where I finally did it. I finally had sex. I finally penetrated a vagina. And it was a great time. And it was not worth any of the hype that people was giving it. Like, it's like when you want to drive a car for the first time and you get a car and you start driving and it's like all these things in your head that you're thinking about doing until you get in the car and it's like, hey, like, this is cool, but like, damn. It was very overhyped. And then with driving, you go down because you hate driving after a while. It's just weird. I didn't like it. Like, the risk and the reward, they was nowhere near each other on the totem pole. It was very weird. Moral of the story, protect yourself, be careful, use condoms, and stop trusting every single word people say, whether it's the story that happened or if they tell you they put one on. Look, people will flash a pack of Raymond seasoning and make some noise with it and pretend to put a condom on. I have not done that. Let me be clear, because that sounds very specific. All right, bye, y'all.